Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good morning. Welcome to BCIT's The Crow. I'm Selena Teixeira, and here's your latest sports news. As preseason begins on Wednesday, the Canucks captain Quinn Hughes has previously stated that he would like to play with his brothers on the same team. With two of his brothers playing on the New Jersey Devils, there were rumors of the captain leaving Vancouver to join the aforementioned team. But his brother Luke Hughes has not signed his contract with the Devils and has not attended this year's training camp, leading to speculation of Luke Hughes being traded to a different team where the Canucks could potentially be interested in his services. Canadian forward Sophie Degout has been nominated for Women's World Rugby Player of the Year. Degout is already top in carries, offloads, and line-out takes. It was after a knee injury that left Degout unable to play. Now she returns to the Women's World Cup where she is a finalist for Player of the Year. Degout is up against England's Megan Jones and New Zealand's Georgia Miller for winner. Mary Gibb has won Canada's first gold of the World Paralympic Swimming Championships. The 18-year-old from Muskota, Ontario, finished the women's 200-meter individual medley SM9 in 2 minutes and 32.90 seconds on Monday in her World Championship debut. Canada opened the World Championships with 2 bronze medals from Nicholas Bennett and Ariana Hunsucker last Sunday. The competition runs through Sunday. More on the changes to the CFL. A shortened field and restrictions on how single points are awarded are some of the revisions made to the CFL. The league unveiled a 2-part plan Monday that will be phased in over 2 years and will alter how the game looks and plays. Starting next season, no points will be awarded for errant field goals, punts, or kickoffs that will go through the end zone. If a returner fields misses a field goal, punt, or kickoff in the end zone and either kneels or is tackled in the end zone trying to forward the ball, a single point will be awarded. These modifications will make the CFL fields look similar to those in the NFL, but the Canadian playing surfaces will remain 65 yards as opposed to the 53 yards for those south of the border. Other changes include a 35-second automatic reset on the play clock. Moving on to international news, the Atlantic Coast Conference has fined Syracuse $25,000 and issued a public reprimand for feigning injuries during Saturday's 34-21 win over Clemson. The ACC cited one incident with 9 minutes and 25 seconds left in the game, calling it unethical and against the spirit of the rules. The National Coordinator of Football Officials agreed that the actions violated fair play. Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik noted Syracuse's defensive injuries stopped play and disrupted the Tigers' momentum. Coach Dabo Swinney advised against the frustration over the situation. The fine will go over to the Weaver James Corrigan Swafford Postgraduate Scholarship account. The oldest player in the NFL is still rewriting history books. Correspondent Gethin Coolbaugh reports.
Aaron Rodgers has continued his ascent up the NFL's all-time leaderboards.
Good to be mentioned with those guys.
The 41-year-old Steelers quarterback and 4-time MVP eclipsed 2 major passing milestones in Sunday's game at New England.
It means I've played a long time.
Rodgers passed former Packers teammate Brett Favre for 4th place on the league's all-time touchdowns list with his 509th career TD to DK Metcalf from 12 yards out in the second quarter.
I grew up in, Niners quarterbacks were my favorite, and then Brett, and I got to play with Brett.
Rodgers also eclipsed Phillip Rivers' 63,440 passing yards to move into 6th place on the NFL's all-time list.
Had a friendship through the game with him for years. Loved watching Phil play. Just his mannerisms, his lack of swearing, trash talk.
Pittsburgh improved to 2-1 with a 21-14 victory. Gethin Coolbaugh, Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Backup quarterbacks had a big day Sunday as Carson Wentz and Marcus Mariota were sharp in leading their teams to lopsided wins as fill-in starters. Mac Jones overcame a costly turnover and engineered a game-winning final drive. Wentz was 14 of 20 for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns in Minnesota's 48-10 rout over Cincinnati. Mariota was 15 of 21 for a 207-yard and 1 touchdown, and also ran for 40 yards and a score in Washington's 41-24 win against Las Vegas. Jones completed 27 of 41 passes for 284 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception in San Francisco's 16-15 win. That was your latest sports news. I'm Selena Teixeira, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow. This is 1680 The Crow, and you're listening to our feature presentation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Catching Up, your favorite cat podcast that talks about all things cats related to mental and physical health. Today, we'll be going over how cats scientifically benefit our mental and physical health as proven by lots and lots of studies. I am Riley.
And I am James.
And so we'll be starting off talking about our own cats for a little bit, right? So I have lived with cats kind of my whole life. When I was younger, we adopted 2 cats. One's name was Button and one was Midnight. Button unfortunately passed away when I was 14 or 15. And then Midnight I brought out to Vancouver with me when I moved here for university, and he lived until 17, and he was diabetic and had kidney disease, and he made it through all that, and he was a really good little friend. And now I've got 2 kittens, Gigi and Ember, and they're also really good friends. So what about you, James? What's your history with cats?
I guess for me, it started when I was about 5 years old. My sister randomly just brought home a cat. It was very small. We ended up naming it Skittles, and it seemed like the runt of the litter seemed a bit smaller. And it lived for about 10 years, and I think February 2022 was around the time she passed away. She had a bit of health problems in her last few months. And for the next, I think it was 8 months, I was not exactly having the best of times. For me, I just started up the new semester in high school, and during the year, I just couldn't really focus. I actually nearly failed my French 10 class. I think I got like a 59%. I think my lowest in any class I've had throughout high school.
Oh, no.
It's just like a death can really affect someone for like months, even when you think you're fine. And then in November, or was it maybe early December, my mother was looking for another cat. We ended up finding a 6-week-old kitten in Chilliwack. So we drove all the way out there, picked her up, brought her home, and we ended up naming her Fifi. She is very adorable. She was scared at first, but now is extremely clingy. She is almost 3 years old now, and honestly, I'm very happy that she's a part of my life now.
Nice. What kind of cat is she?
I believe part Bengal at least, because she's got some very long back legs, and she's a bit crazy. Very crazy.
Lots of energy for sure.
What about your cats? What are they? Or kittens, rather?
Right now, so Ember is a tortoise shell cat, and Gigi is an all black cat. I have a soft spot for the void cats, as they call them. So now you've got some studies, James, that kind of show scientifically how cats have benefited folks' mental and physical health, right?
As a matter of fact, I do. We just talked about our problems, but now let's get into the actual science of it, shall we? There are a few studies, one of them by the Journal of Vascular and Interventional Neurology, and that showed that cat owners actually have a 30% less chance of having heart attacks, strokes, or any other cardiovascular issues.
Wow.
There was a few more, one of them by the Public Library of Science journal. That one says that interactions with cats activate the part of the brain that feels empathy.
Whoa.
And petting a cat actually releases this chemical called oxytocin, also kind of known as a love hormone. And that can release feelings of love and affection, and it also has therapeutic applications in benefiting someone's mental health.
Ooh, that's so interesting. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because I don't know about you, but when I pet my cats, it always makes me feel happy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially when they run up to you for the pets.
Oh, that's the best ever, right?
I actually spoke to someone from the Cat Fae at the International Village Mall. Her name is Isla Collins. She works there for a living. They have about 20 cats available for adoption. And she also believes that rescue cats that help find homes, they can be very beneficial for not just your health, but also theirs too.
A furry companion in the home to say hi to is a really big deal. But it's also been scientifically proven that cat purring is healing. So, if you're sad or not feeling very well, having a cat lying on you and purring away can be a very healing experience.
That's actually pretty incredible. I mean, I had heard things before, just on social media, on TikTok and all that, about how cats purring is at a frequency that can help, heal people, heal like broken bones and...
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. I'd heard that, and it sounds like Ayla kind of corroborated that for us. The attitude overall towards cats has kind of been changing lately. They are right now the most owned pet in Canada.
Above dogs. You're kidding.
Above dogs, yes. They make up 55% of all pet ownership.
Wow. Okay, then. I did not know that.
Yeah, more than half. StatCan says 1 in every 5 households in Canada has a furry little feline family member. I spoke to Jane. She was a former dog person who turned into a cat mom, about her cats and how they changed her life and her perception of cats.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I live alone. So being able to come home and actually have, pets to interact with and someone that misses me is so nice for my mental health. And then secondly, it's helped me a lot about learning where my growth areas are when it comes to caring for something or someone, my responsibilities, my time management, things like that. And then also just increased even more so my capacity for how much I could care about and love something. I've had pets in the past, but it's different when you have pets of your own.
I think what I find funny about cats, especially black cats, for example, is they have a lot of stereotypes surrounding them. Black cats are mostly associated with bad luck, evil spirits, curses, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's led to them actually being on the lower end of cats that have been adopted in terms of breeds. Another stereotype, for example, would be the orange cats.
Mm.
And I should know this as well. My first cat, Skittles, she was orange.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute menace to society. This thing will go tearing up your walls, not just your couches, not just under your bed. She will actually just put a bunch of scratch marks in your walls, your cabinets, anything that they can leave a mark that I was here.
Mm-hmm. She sounds like she was a crazy girl. There's a whole joke too about how all orange cats just share one brain cell. So maybe that was the day she had the brain cell. Mount St. Joseph University actually said that black cats are the most likely to be overlooked and spend their whole life in shelters compared to cats of any other coat and any other age. I remember back when I first adopted my first black cat, Midnight, one of the people who was working at the SPCA told me that nowadays it has a lot less to do with bad luck and a lot more to do about how black cats photograph, because they don't photograph well. I have a million photos of my black cats on my phone, and I can attest to the fact that they photograph very beautifully.
I think people are just bad at photography.
I think that's true. I think maybe that's the issue. Maybe they should sharpen up their photography skills. Learn about an f-stop, maybe. I also my tortoiseshell cat. She definitely has the tortitude. It's kind of another stereotype about cats. About how tortoiseshell cats are kind of sassy. They're divas a lot of the time. And a lot of people think that cats are pretty standoffish, they're not loving, they're not cuddly, but my cats love to cuddle. Sometimes they are like little Velcro cats and they just cling on to me all day. You said your cat's pretty clingy.
Yeah, it's weird because she likes being cuddled, but sometimes she doesn't actively seek it out. She'll seek out pets and whatnot, but more often than not, me and my mother, we have to forcefully grab her and pick her up. She acts like she hates it, but then the second she's resting in our arms,
she knows she loves it. Yeah. I spoke to a woman named Crystal. She had been working in vet medicine since 2013. She still works part-time at VCA, that's the cat-only animal hospital in Vancouver. And even her husband had bought into the stereotype that cats weren't very loving, that they were kind of evil. That is until they got a cat in COVID. So here's what Crystal had to say.
So we spent all of our time with our cat, and just being at home. It made a really big difference in our life. And my husband was terrified of cats. He thought cats were evil and they're like demons. And all they do is scratch and like bite and all that. But Gubo's actually very different, and he acts like a dog kind of, and he's very social. So he really made a difference in my life, in our life actually.
That's absolutely lovely to hear. What I like about shelters in particular is that they're trying to kind of get rid of some of these negative stereotypes about cats, the black ones mainly in particular, and just try and find them a loving home, because at the end of the day, a cat is, well, a cat. It's going to love you as long as you give it food. And a lot of treats. All right, my cat's fat because she gets a lot of treats. We mentioned Isla from earlier at the cafe. She did mention about those stereotypes. It's overall just any cat in your building. It's honestly just a joyful experience, and this is what she had to say about it.
One aspect of cat ownership that's really nice for a lot of people is that they are a bit lower maintenance. So, because they don't rely on you quite as much, cats are still, they're still very needy beings, and we need to take really, really good care of them.
There are actually quite a few cat rescues and cat shelters in Vancouver and the Lower Mainland specifically. There's a lot of really great work that happens here, whether it's a TNR, which is trap, neuter, release for street cats and feral cats, or, organizations like the SPCA that are really widely recognized. VOCRA is an awesome one, the Vancouver Orphan Kitten Rescue Association. There's one specific organization called Actions for Animals in Distress Society. It's run by a woman. Her name's Nikki Forbes, and she's been in rescue for quite a long time. And something unique and special that her organization does is they help pair senior cats with senior citizens. Here is what Nikki had to say about her program at her rescue.
It brightens their life. It just makes them smile. As I say, it gives them a reason to wake up in the morning.
Yes,
life is not so sad anymore. Many seniors don't have any family. So they have family now, even if it's got 4 legs and a fur coat and it says meow, right?
I just want to say that last line, absolutely adorable. It actually just resonated in my heart there.
So sweet, right?
Yeah.
We have the anecdotal evidence always that, our own cats make us feel happy. They make us feel joyful and good. But it's really interesting to know how much science backs that up, right? And, how much cats are increasing in popularity. It seems like everyone and their mom's getting a cat these days.
Not to be crazy, but could they overtake dogs eventually? Is it a possibility?
I think they already have, James. I think they already have. All right, well, thank you for tuning in to Catching Up. I have been Riley.
And I have been James.
And we will see you folks next time. Have a good one.